Salim, and welcome to episode number 5 of the Life Review Podcast. I am your host, Indra Ali. We're live with you every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Make sure to mark on your calendar. Make sure to put your alarms on to come join me live in the flesh. If you're new to the program, this show is broken up into 3 sections, and it's to promote for you to review your life now while you're still in the physical, in the flesh or whatever. And the 3 questions I encourage you to ask yourself every day and often are, am I fulfilling my purposes? Am I learning my life lessons? And am I overcoming my spiritual blocks? You review that every day on a consistent basis, and it will help you tremendously on your spiritual path. So I'd like to welcome everyone back for joining us live in the building. Welcome all the new listeners, new watchers. This show will eventually be featured on Spotify and Apple Play, so you can listen to the podcast. Probably going to start doing that this week or next week. But let's get into the intro and let's get into the program. So I'll be right back after this quick intro. I know. All right. I see you live in the building, everybody. Peace to everyone in the chat box. If you want to join me live in the second section, in the second part of the program, make sure to email us at thelifereviewpodcast@gmail.com, thelifereviewpodcast@gmail.com. Doesn't matter if you've already been on as a guest. If you have a question about something that's going on in your life personal, please email us as soon as possible, and Sunsaray will send you the link to join the program. And like I said, make sure to do that as quick as possible. She has to leave and take our son to work. So do that ASAP, Rocky. You heard? All right. So the show is broken up into 3 parts. The first part is I give you some affirmation for you to internalize and put in information, something to chew on for the week. In the second part, we do our one-on-one mini consultations. So if you want to do that, make sure to email us at thelifereviewpodcast@gmail.com. And then the third part, we get into some rapid fire, quick questions and answers. Y'all have a lot of beautiful questions. And like I say, every week, I like to do this show live in the flesh because it gives me more energy. And also, every program, every episode is evergreen, meaning you can go back to episode 1 and still be able to receive something from it. We stay away from current events and stuff like that, because those things are to keep you distracted. If you know anything about the occult, anything that they're placing out on the media, anything that's repeated, retweeted, and put out there in the mainstream, is just to distract you. They can put out something a day and it will garner your attention. They put out something next week and then you'll flip the script like all on that. Just think about this whole thing with the COVID. You feel me? Like they was talking about that hard body and everybody was up in arms. That was the big topic. And then as quick as it came is as quick as it left. Now you don't hear too much about it, but they're starting to throw little stuff here and there. But then it was the monkeypox. Then it's Kanye. It's always something that they're keeping you focused on. I'm here to remind you that you're a spiritual being, a multidimensional being. And as long as your attention is attracted to those current events, it's going to be very difficult to go forward on your path. Check out the episode where I talked about traction. Each episode has a 1-word title, and that's going to take me into what we're going to talk about today. Excuse me. Today, the title is Holistic. Title of today's show is Holistic. Let me pull up the definition real quick so we have a working definition. Most people know what holistic is, but if you don't, holistic is a philosophy characterized by comprehension of the parts of something as intimately interconnected and explicable only by reference to the whole. In medicine, it's characterized by the treatment of the whole person, taking into account mental and social factors rather than just symptoms of disease, end quote. So when you're talking about holistic, you're talking about everything in its entirety. It's complete. It's wholeness. You feel me? And that's going to take me into a post that I made this past week. If you're on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and that's the way you like to get down, I'm back hard body. Not really hard body, but I'm posted at least a few times a week, so you can connect with me on there. Excuse me. But a post that I made a few days ago, and I knew it was going to be polarizing because a lot of people take these things very seriously. And like I told you in last episode, when I make posts, I'm not making posts for people to agree with me. I'm not looking for a pat of the back or saying, oh, brother, that's deep, or I agree. I'm not looking for none of that. For real, if I make a post and everybody agree with it, then in my opinion, I'm on the wrong side of the fence. Because like I keep telling y'all, the mob and the general public is usually wrong. If everybody is agreeing with you, that's usually a sign that you're not on the right side of the fence. Think about everything that's been created on this planet, everything that's been monumental and life-changing. When people talked about doing it, most people, the people in their circle was like, oh, that's not going to work. Why are you doing that? You always had naysayers. And if they listened to those naysayers, then we wouldn't have some of the great inventions and some of the philosophical studies and some of the spiritual undertakings that we have to this day. So, boring story short, you know, when I post something, is for one, it's something I truly believe, and for two, is for you to think about it and to encourage change. Because we go along with the same paradigm, like everything is saying and repeating everything that everybody is saying, it's going to be difficult to move forward because everybody's on the same level. When I post something, it's to encourage you to really think. And like I said, I don't care if you agree with me. In fact, I want you to disagree with me so you can meditate on it and find your own truth and revelations. With that being said, the post I made this past week was, quote, you are not your zodiac sign and life path number. You are a multidimensional being pretending to have those limitations. I'm going to say that again. You are not your zodiac sign and life path number. You're a multidimensional being pretending to have those limitations. Now, who peeped my post in the chat box? If you peeped that post last week, press 9 in the chat. And shout out to everybody. I see you, Jazz, Jackie, Miss Necessary, Bronze Beauty, Gloria, Beauty by Baines. What's up, Letitia, Sandra, C. Diggs, B. No, what up, Brooklyn, Black Knight, Miss Coco B. Peace to everybody in the chat box. But if you've seen that post, you know, if you're hard body into astrology or numerology, you might have caught feelings. You feel what I'm saying? You really might have caught feelings if you've seen that joint. You heard? So I want to break it down a little bit further because I don't want you to get to the point where you're like, okay, he's just saying things just to be saying. I'm going to break it down for you so you understand where I'm coming from. In astrology, in the chat box, put 1 if you know your complete astrological chart. Press 2 if you know your complete numerology chart. Press 1 and 2 if you know both your complete astrology chart and your complete numerology chart. I'm going to give a second for y'all to do that. If you're listening to this on a playback, do it as well. Do you know your whole chart? Press 1 if you know your full numerology, your full astrology chart. Press 2 if you know your full numerology chart. And as I see this, as I'm looking at everybody put their joints in the comments section, when most people reference astrology, normally, I would say 85% of the people, you know, 85 is one of those things that's always going to be like that as far as the mainstream. 85% of the people will be like, I'm a Capricorn, or I'm a Scorpio, or I'm a Gemini. They're basically saying they are one sign. The same with numerology. When you say, okay, what's your numerology? What's your math? Most people say, oh, I'm a life path 11. You know, the people that are life path 11s love to put in your face that they're a life path 11. I'm a master number 11. They even tell you I'm a master number 11. And for those think I'm throwing shots, quote unquote, I'm a life path 11 in numerology. So how can I be talking about you if I'm the same thing as you? You feel me? But people like to, oh, I'm a 7. I'm a 7 life. I'm the most spiritual number. The life path number and your sun sign in astrology are just one aspect of the whole entire chart. If you look at astrology, you have 12 houses. You also have every sign. Every sign is located in one of the houses in your chart. It doesn't matter if you study Vedic astrology, which I'm more apt to study Vedic astrology, or you study Western astrology, which most people are familiar with. No matter what you look at, your chart in its entirety will have every single sign. So when you sit here and be like, man, I can't stand Geminis, they so flip-floppy, guess what? You got Gemini somewhere in your chart. When you say, I can't stand Scorpios, they get on my nerves, guess what? You have Scorpio somewhere in your chart. Everything that you detest, everything that you feel like gets on your nerves, you got that joint somewhere in your chart. The same with numerology. Now, numerology is different, that you won't have every number in your chart, but you have more than just your life path number. Just from your full birth certificate name and your full birth date, you can get 6 different numbers. 3 from your name and 3 from your birth date. The 3 from your name are your expression number, which is derived for breaking down your whole entire name, your soul urge number, and also your personality. From your birth date, you can get your life path number, your gift number, and your attitude number. And then guess what? Every year that changes based on what year we're in. So we're in 2022 now. That adds up to a 6. 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. So your number, or your year number, if you study numerology like that, will change each year. So you go through different cycles in your life. That's why some years you feel like you're making more money. Some years you feel like you're getting your health in order. Some years you feel like you're getting your relationships in order. Some years you feel like you've taken a loss, because we go through different cycles in our life. Numerology and astrology, when viewed holistically, not segmented it out and stuff like that, when you view it holistically, you'll be able to see a complete story. And that ties me to my next point. When you read a book, you don't take a book that's 10 chapters and only read 3 chapters and feel like you got the whole entirety of the book. You may have a gist of the book. Just like if you know someone's life path number, or you know someone's sun sign, you may have a gist of what that person is. But if you don't know all the other elements or the other chapters in that book, it's going to be very difficult to know beyond a shadow of a doubt how that person is. So I said what I say about astrologer, but I'm going to say like this. And you all know I speak out both sides of my mouth, because I'm a true occultist, and it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't at the same time. Those who are versed in astrology, especially those who are versed in numerology, in my opinion, they can know people the best because they know the true science. Astrology, on my opinion, is the most deep science on the planet as far as breaking down people. So those who are really versed in astrology, really go deep into that joint, they can break down people left and right. You know, shout out to Ra Aku. I consider him a master astrologer. He deals with Western astrology, but he can break down people to a T, because he's not going to do, oh yeah, you're a sun sign Scorpio, so you like this and that. That sounds, for those who know, you sound stupid when you start to say that people are this way or that way based on their sun sign. The same with their life path number. You want to take it to a different angle, palmistry. Palmistry is more than just your headline, your heart line, and your lifeline. You have different mounds on your hands. You have different crossings. You have marks, crosses, lines, stuff all on your hand. Your fingers, the way they're spread apart, the way your one finger's longer than, all that stuff matters. The shape of your hand matters. You see people, they have big fat fingers. And then you see people that have slim fingers. That means something. You feel me? And the lifeline and the lines of your hand changes. If you look at your hands every day, you'll notice how lines on your hand changes. Why? Because you're evolving and changing. You're not stagnant. You're a holistic being. You're not just a part of a being. So when you study the different sciences, don't fall victim to segmenting it, and looking at things as isolated. View things holistically. You know what I'm talking about? And before I get to my last point with this, make sure to email us at thelifereviewpodcast@gmail.com. In the next session, I like to speak to some people one-on-one. If we don't have anybody, I get right into the question and answers. But I just got one more point I want to make as far as this holistic joint that I want to jump to the next segment. So the Life Review Podcast at Gmail. Put your question in there. The Sunsaray send you the link to join me ASAP. So also with this, even if you know your full numerology chart and you know your full astrology chart, or you're reviewing someone else's, based on what they have done as far as their workings, they're not going to be their numerology chart or their astrological chart. What I mean by that is, if you have somebody who's really worked on themselves, really have grown and evolved, then when you look at their chart, that's not going to resonate as much as it is, because they have developed and worked on their quote unquote weaknesses. Say that a person or chart has a weakness where they have, let's just say that they're lazy. Say every indicator in their chart shows that they're lazy, but say that this person has worked on themselves and has advanced on their spiritual path to the point where they're not lazy. They have habits and rituals that they're committed to. Then that chart is going to be asinine when you look at it and try to limit them and pigeonhole them to something that is, at the end of the day, man-made, because they're a multi-dimensional being and they have worked on themselves. So they're no longer lazy. So how can you look at somebody's chart if they really have evolved and worked on themselves? It's going to be very difficult. Like, there's certain people on this planet, they have really evolved and reached mastery, certain levels of mastery. So their chart is not going to read like someone else's chart. But for the most part, most people don't, in my opinion, don't reach a certain level of mastery in their life because they, go through life distracted, go through life just basically just going through the motions. Even people that you feel like are on a spiritual path, I made a post saying that even the awakened ones can go back to sleep. A lot of the times you smell your own roses and drink your own Kool-Aid, and before you know it, you're in the same place if you leveled out. So most people don't evolve. That's why I wanted to create this episode, to create this podcast, to encourage you to make sure that you're putting in that work, growing involved on an everyday basis. All right. So hopefully that makes sense to you. I will take a quick break, and when we come back, we have anybody that want to come on one-on-one, we'll get into that. Otherwise, I get into some question and answers. So I'll be right back after this brief intermission. All right, we back. Indra Ali back, the Life Review Podcast. Once again, thank you for everyone joining us live. We do not have anybody set up to come on one-on-one. I put the link in the chat box since Ray had to take our son to work. So give me some questions in the chat, and I'll be more than happy to address it. I'm gonna see if I can man this thing myself and post it on the screen. So give me some questions, and we get into some rapid Q&A. To my accelerator members, remember we are live today at 12:30 p.m. spiritualaccelerator.com for our movie Metaphysics. Movie was dope too, by the way. I definitely checked it. I've never seen it before. So give me some questions, y'all. Give me some questions. Normal Girl TV, you missed. I mean, you missed the first part, so you definitely got to go back. The topic was holistic, and I spoke about viewing your numerology and your astrological chart holistically, as opposed to looking at it like I'm a sun sign or I'm a life path, this or whatever and whatnot. Okay, Bronze Beauty, do you think 2023 will be super impactful for the life path sevens? Everything is impactful. Hold on one second. We do have some people want to come through as well. So I will answer this and I will get to the one-on-ones. But yeah, with that being your number, like the year adding up to your life path number, you may have some kind of, more synchronistic events, and certain things will resonate with you as far as like what the 7 represents. So I'm gonna give you some homework. Look at you might already know this, but look and see what does the number 7 represent in its entirety: meditation, spirituality, loneliness, etc., etc. Look at what the number 7 represents, and those are the things that may be prevalent in your life. But like I said, you have other parts that take effect, like what's your gift number, what's your expression number. All those things matter. But simply put, you may find more synchronistic events, meaning that more coincidences. Because once you see these things, like this is a perfect example. Because people say 1111 is a portal and it's a spiritual awakening and stuff like that. Now your mind automatically is looking for that 1111 or any repeating number. I'm not saying everybody works like that, or just because you're seeking that out constantly or whatever. But for the most part, that's the way. I think it's called confirmation bias or something like that. Is when you already feel some sort of way, you're automatically constantly looking for that confirmation. You feel me? So it would be more like that, where it's more synchronistic events and stuff like that, or you may find coincidences. But like I said, you want to view things in its entirety. So let me get to the one-on-ones and we'll get back to the Q&A. Remember to email me at the life review podcast at gmail.com. And also I posted a link in the chat box if you want to come through one-on-one. For the second part, I like to do the one-on-ones. All right. So let me bring on the first person. You are live in the building. Welcome.
Hey, good morning. What's going on with
Chilling, bro. What's good?
you? Nothing much. So, my question was, how long did it take you to open up your third eye, and like what techniques did you go through to do it?
Okay. What are you trying to accomplish?
Um, just want to experience the spiritual aspect of it. Just want to experience with it.
So you have no real true motive. You just want to experience it.
Yeah, basically.
How old are you, bro?
I'm 26.
Okay, where did you hear about the concept of the third eye?
You know, I've been heard about that probably 2012 with a brother named Young Pharaoh, and he used to talk about that all the time.
Okay, and
But
you
it's been
heard,
a while.
and then probably subsequently you heard other people talk about it. You need to open your third eye, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, do you remember your dreams?
Oh yeah, I remember my dreams. I got a dream journal. I write them down like every time I wake up. As soon as I
Then
wake up in the
guess,
morning,
what?
it's already open.
Your third eye is partially open already.
Okay.
Third eye is the way you perceive different aspects of reality, mostly the spiritual realm. So if you're highly intuitive, or if you have a intuitive sense, then your third eye is partially open. If you're remembering your
Mhm.
dreams, then your third eye is partially open. If you're astral travel or have out of body experiences, then your third eye is partially open. That's why I asked you, what specifically do you want to accomplish? Now I'm gonna pose the question again. What specifically do you want to accomplish?
Astral traveler, astral
Astral
projection,
travel, and what's the other one?
astral projection. I heard it was the difference
Okay.
between the two.
Okay. So you want astral travel is what you do every time you go to bed. Now, if you
Okay.
want to astral project, if you want to leave the body willingly, then that's a whole different science.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have any books on astral projection?
Not at the moment.
Okay. What I would recommend is get a good book, one good book. And to do that, just go to Amazon, put in astral projection and books, and then find one that has a lot of reviews and at least 4.5 stars. So a lot of
Okay.
reviews and at least 4.5 stars. Now you may say, okay, what the hell is a book going to teach me or whatever? What that's going to
Mm-hmm.
do is put your subconscious mind into a state where you're focused on that. Anything that you want to do, I recommend having books, watching videos, and surrounding yourself with it, because that lets your spirit, your subconscious mind, your higher self say that this is an important part of your life that you're focused on.
Okay.
Okay. Read that book and then start to practice the techniques that you read. Now, as far as a clear cut, fast track on how to do this joint, heavy meditation and a change of a diet. Those are probably the
Okay.
two biggest things that you can do as far as on the physical. So get a book, surround yourself with it, start to practice the techniques that resonate with you, meditate as often and as deep as possible, and change your diet to consume as much alkaline foods. If you really want to
Okay.
get it popping that one way, then go on a fast, either a juice
Okay.
fast or water fast. But obviously that depends on your medical condition and stuff like that.
Right. All right. So hold on. When you say alkaline,
Hmm.
do you just mean like just eating alkaline and nothing else, like no meats,
Um,
no sweets?
You asked me the question, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like if you
Mm-hmm.
want to pop out that one way, bro, like anybody is
Mm-hmm.
saying that diet doesn't affect your spirituality, they're a fool. I don't care
Right.
who it is. I've heard some very educated people saying diet doesn't affect your spirituality. They're a fool. And more
Mm-hmm.
times than not, these people have never gone on a juice fast, has never fasted, have never been vegan, have never not consumed eating meat and stuff like that. You feel me? Anybody that
Right.
says otherwise, they don't know what they're talking about. I can assure you, if you go alkaline, like I said, consuming raw fruits, vegetables, or just non-meat, non-white stuff like sugar, flour, and stuff like that, eating as alkaline as possible, and that is just natural foods. Just look
Mm-hmm.
at the alkaline chart of foods. All it is natural foods. You feel me? Nothing
Right.
man-made. You do that, you meditate with your age, you will probably be out of the body sooner than what you know.
Okay. Well, I'm get on Amazon and try to find some books. Appreciate it, man.
Yep, no problem, bro. Appreciate you.
All right.
All right, peace. Okay, we did have somebody else, but they jumped out. So link is in the chat, and let's get into this. Let me go ahead and answer some more questions. It's kind of difficult to go back, so just ask your question again. What's up, Christine? Peace. What up, Jazz? I see you. Kenny, I see you. Kenny definitely hardcore vegan, like say no to meat. Um, is it worthwhile to study where Chiron is in your chart to help heal your life? If you're studying astrology, I'm just going to put it like this. You're studying astrology, I would say study all the aspects of astrology. But you do not have to study astrology in order to ascend on your spiritual path. I'm just saying, if you're studying these things, view it holistically and study it in its entirety. So if your astrology system highlights or makes point to study that aspect, then I would study it. So everything is worthwhile if it's worth your while. That's a bar. Everything is worthwhile if it's worth your while. Hey, peace, King. Peace to the God, man. Okay, somebody said I can co-sign fastings. Alkaline diet really does open you up. That did it for me. It does it for everybody. It's an automatic boost to your spirituality. Now you don't have to, you know what I mean, go vegan, or you don't have to go fast. I'm not saying that. So please don't mix my words. But I'm saying is an easy way to tap in. You are what you eat. Let food be your medicine. Anyone telling you otherwise is a fool, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm big on I'm even though I'm from Ohio, I'm still from the show me state. Shout out to Missouri. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my cousin, oh, my aunt Kathy who live in St. Louis or whatever. But I'm from Missouri in that regard. I'm from the show me state. Don't believe nothing I say. That's why if you notice, when you ask me something, I give you something to do so you can go and figure it out for yourself. Apply the techniques, apply the knowledge or whatever, and get your own revelation. So don't believe me about the food. Go 1 week. I was just talking to my cousin, Chuck J, you know what I'm saying? Chuck J yesterday or whatever. And he was talking about when he was vegan, how clear his mind was. Super clear or whatever. Don't believe me. Go 1 week without consuming animal flesh. Just go 1 week and see how you feel for yourself. Then go 1 week eating sugars, snacks, white flour, milk. Go 1 week doing that and see how you feel. You won't have to listen to me. You'll know for sure that, hey, yo, I felt way more clearer when I didn't consume them joints than I did when I did. You feel me? So don't believe me. Just put this stuff in that practice yourself. You'll see for yourself. You know, this stuff. I would hate to break it and poo poo on y'all's knowledge, but this is elementary, my dear Watson. This is dumb simple. This is metaphysics 101. You know what I mean? Change your diet and you ascend. Think about in religion. Why do you think in the story of the make-believe person, I'm not saying this person was real, but a make-believe person, why do you think Jesus, quote unquote, fasted before he went into his ministry? Why? Why do you think most religions will honor a certain fasting period, Ramadan, Lent, and stuff like that? What do you think these things came from? We say that spirituality and our ancestors preceded religion. They preceded Christianity and Judaism and all these different things. They got that from our ancestors because that's what they practiced. It wasn't until the Western world introduced these concepts and put in a form of religion. Now we look at it as, oh man, that's whitewash or that's bull crap and all this stuff like that. It came from indigenous cultures. It came from our ancestors. And I don't care if you're white, black, or indifferent, those are our ancestors. You feel me? So when you go back to that stuff, you're going to tap in mad easier, y'all. I promise you. So this is like elementary. At this point, we shouldn't even be entertaining this. In fact, I have spent too much time on it. See for yourself. Just do it yourself. You feel me? Okay, give me another question, yo. Give me another question. Hey, what up, Jackie? She said, as soon as I eat candy, I feel the difference big time. Okay, here we go. How can I practice my psychic power? How can I practice my psychic power? Like what? Okay, when you like, that's why I would love to speak with you, because when you say psychic power, what are you talking about? Are you talking about being able to read people's minds? Are you talking about increase your intuition? Are you talking about dreams? Like what are you talking about as far as psychic power? I'm going to assume that you're talking about intuition. I'm going to assume you're talking about intuition. How can you practice your psychic power, your intuition? Is I would recommend playing intuitive games. What I mean by that is, like, if you're driving, or let me say, if you're riding in someone's whip on a highway or whatever, start to predict the next license plate number. So I say 6744. They start to really practice license plate numbers. You feel me? One of the things I like to do is like watching like Jeopardy or something like that. Is when someone does a daily double, I'll be like, oh, they're gonna wager 5,000. They're gonna bet 5,000. Just start to play little games. When your phone rings, guess who's going to be calling you? When your doorbell rings, guess who's going to be at the door? And when you go on social media, guess the first person's poster you're going to see. When you get mail, guess how many correspondences you're going to receive in your mailbox. Just start to play intuitive games. Start to put that into practice. What you'll notice is you'll start to get dope with that joint, you know, and you'll start to really pick up on things. That's the way of practicing your intuition, practicing your psychic. It's one of the things I still do to this day, and I did hard body early on my path, you know. So I would recommend that as a quick answer. What up, Ma Deuce? Karen Pickering, that's Ma Deuce. Definitely say what up to Ma. She's a happy Sunday neighbor trying to take my joy. Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about, ma. Here we go. David Emmanuel. All the answers are in you. All the power is in you. We are on a journey of remembering. Beautifully put, beautifully said. Oh, here's another good example too. Thank you, Ken. Of use playing cards for intuition. Shuffle a deck of cards and guess the next card, or guess what suit it is. There's many. If I gave you all kinds of different things, if you use your mind, you'll be able to come up with a lot of different ways of practicing intuition. Does wine consumption have an effect on the third eye activation? Everything has an effect on your third eye and your spirituality in general, but it's really individual dependent. And what I mean by that is one person having a glass of wine, it may help them tap in, where another person having a glass of wine may make them want to have 12 glasses of wine where they're drunk and, you know what I mean, and messed up or whatever. Just like this is an example, this may not be popular. I believe some people, especially if they've been vegan and for a long time and they feel disconnected, they may need to have a burger every once in a while to get more grounded. Or a person who doesn't smoke weed, maybe they need, and they're all high strung, like, nigga, you might need to smoke a blunt every once in a while. So it depends on the individual. I can't sit here and say that wine consumption as a whole is going to affect your third eye activation, but I stand by what I said. The more natural you eat, usually the more easier it is going to be to tap in. But there's a thing about being too far tapped in. You feel me? When you have to start working on things and start to be more balanced. Look like Sun Saray is back in the building, so she can pop up some more questions. Okay, Letitia said, Beauty by Baines, how can I help my daughter enjoy meditation? She's 9. First off, does she want to meditate? That'd be the first question I say. Does she want to meditate? Now, if she wants to meditate, then there's nothing you have to do to enjoy it except let her participate with you. But if she don't want to meditate, and you're trying to force her to meditate, then of course you're going to deal with some kind of resistance. Children are very, very, let me say, weird creatures. Like, they'll wake up and want to eat candy and cake and stuff like that. They don't want to eat their vegetables. They don't want to go to school. They have to be guided to things that they don't want to do. But they're very rebellious. If you have a child that's naturally rebellious, when you start to have them do something, they may resent you and go the complete opposite way. People make fun of preachers' daughters being the most loose of females or whatever, and they say that's because they grew up very tight and religious, where their dad put too much pressure on them, so they start to rebel all the way that one way. You feel me? So it's, if they want to participate, I'm big on whatever your children want to do. Just make sure that you introduce it to them and let them participate with you as much as possible. But I'm not big on forcing your children to do certain things. Like, I have a benefit of having a 21-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 10-year-old. So I have different, like, we have children at different stages. And with our 21-year-old, we didn't force things to them and tell them you need to think this way and you need to think that way. But now looking at him, conversating with him, he shares a lot of views and a lot of similarities, and he's open-minded and he's spiritual in his own sense, and certain qualities that he has that reflect his parents or whatever. And we didn't force that. We just lived our life and did what we did. And they naturally usually would kind of vibe on your same energy, if that makes any sense. What up, Laura? I see you in the building. All right, what else, y'all? Any other questions? Let's get them. Let's get these questions popping, yo. And also, still, if you want to join us, make sure that lifereviewpodcast@gmail.com. Like I said, we had a few people, but y'all got scared. Y'all some spook booze, yo. Why y'all spook booze? Like, I ain't gonna bite your head off. Why y'all some spook booze? Okay, I don't think that's a question. I think that's more of a statement by David. Okay, another question. Thank you, Bronze Beauty. She taking advantage of this. Like I said, I'm here for y'all, man. Y'all got to give me some questions that's pertinent to y'all. Because once y'all start asking questions, these things are really helping other people. It's not just helping you. These questions y'all ask are general, but like I said, are personal questions. I'd rather you come on one-on-one and talk to me directly. Bronze Beauty said, any methods you recommend to combat PTSD, trauma, and depression? This would be more like a personal question, but it's also a sensitive one. When something happens to you, quote unquote, negatively, you have to find light in the situation. And what I mean by that is not saying that it happened in vain. A lot of times, like we deal with rape or molestation or death or trauma, stuff like that. Excuse me. We look at it like a victim. Not saying that's what you're doing, but I'm saying most people look at it like a victim. Like, why did this happen to me? What helped me tremendously, and I was reminded by Sunsa Ray the other day, was like, she is like, you didn't have any difficulties in your life. She was killing me one day saying your life hasn't been difficult or stuff like that or whatever. So I'm saying this kind of lightly and jokingly, like the things I've had to deal with in my life, I made sense of it. The certain things, I'm not gonna get into the personal things, but I had to make sense of it. Okay, why did this happen to me? What did I learn from it? That's the key. What did I learn from this happening to me? Like, say you deal with molestation, because that's one that happens to a lot of females. Just to be honest, on this planet, a lot of people have been molested and don't want to talk about it and don't want to deal with it. What did you learn from that? Did you learn that you need to respect your body, that men don't respect your body, that you need to protect yourself? Did you learn that? Did you learn that you need to learn to love yourself unconditionally? Do you need to learn forgiveness? That's another big one. You have to find out, what do you need to learn, or am I learning my life lessons? Going back to one of the 3 questions I want y'all asking yourselves. So you have to find out, what did I learn from this situation? What is there to take away from it, and learn that it didn't happen in vain, that it just didn't happen and it doesn't mean anything. If you had some kind of trauma, it means something. There was something you're supposed to learn from. I can't repeat that enough. So without knowing the specifics, that's why I would recommend. Okay, what else, babe? What else? What else you see that's worthwhile? And there was some questions too before you even came through. I don't want to go back into the chat that much. Throw me some more up. Okay. When deities show up in your life, how do you know that you are supposed? That's an incomplete sentence, bro. I believe that's what I spoke with last week as well. When deities show up in your life, let me see if I can finish and read between the lines. How do you know that you are supposed to work with them? I'm assuming. Always recommend just placing them on the altar and starting to work with them that way, or chant their mantra, or research them as much as possible and see if it resonates with you. That's why I would say, when deities show up in your life, just place them on an altar, chant their mantra, or read their story or their mythology, and see if there's a connection or resonance, and see what you can learn from that. Okay, yeah, we're supposed to work with them. You don't know if you're supposed to work with them unless you start to work with them. You feel me? So that's what I would recommend. All right, I'm gonna take one more question. Then we do have somebody want to come on here and holler at me. They are not a spook boo. Rest of y'all spook boos, yo. I'm convinced of it. Peace. I haven't been able to move past subconscious blocks in my life. How would you suggest doing this? Thanks. Ooh, that's a personal question, bro. I would like to speak to you one-on-one. I would like to speak to you one-on-one for that. So let me bring on the person. My apologies, bro. Let me bring on the person. Oh, they jumped off too. They're spook. How you don't pop up and then bounce out? You know what I'm saying? Gonna pop up and then bounce out. So we don't have a person 101. So let's keep it pushing. How can you prevent evil spirits from entering your home? Because I feel like some bad spirits is sleeping with us at night and blocking our blessings. Okay, if you feel like you have spirits entering your home because you feel like it's some bad spirits is sleeping with us at night and blocking our blessings. Okay, I'm just going to assume that you really feel that and it's really happening. I would, as doing this as long as I've done this, I've spoken to numerous amount of people, and I know that a lot of advisors, guides, and mentors, readers, especially, will tell people that yo, you have an evil spirit on you, or you have ancestors doing this and that to you, or people are sending mojo and black magic on you and stuff like that. And I can tell you without beyond a shadow of a doubt, I've only talked to maybe one or two people that were really dealing with psychic attacks and spiritual um poltergeist and demonic stuff like that. Most people aren't dealing with that. But I'm going to assume that you really truly feel like you are dealing with that. The three things I recommend or either one, and it's going to range, and I've given this out many a different times, but I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to go through this quickly, is carrying protective crystals and symbols. So this is the evil eye or the Hamza, any crystals that are black, and any kind of protective crystals or symbols that you feel are protective, carry that on your person. Next thing I would recommend is I actually create personalized talismans, or you can make your own. L9shop.com, el the number 9shop.com. But I create customized talismans for protection and also for generating money or prosperity. Or you can create a talisman on your own, a protective talisman. Third recommendation is Tybro.com. You can get what's called an Angels of Sanctification medallion. So those are the three recommendations: carrying crystals and protective symbols, creating a talisman or copping a talisman from someone you trust, or getting the Angels of Sanctification medallion from Tybro, Tybro. All right. What's the importance of deja vu? I don't know if deja vu has a so-called importance, but the science of deja vu are is things that you seen in your dreams. Things that you seen in your dreams. The dreams are your conscious way of dealing with different dimensions. And we know, like in this dimension, everything is linear. 5 o'clock, then 6 o'clock, then 8 o'clock, and so forth and so on. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and so on. In the dream world and in higher dimensions, there's a thing called a space-time continuum where things are not past, present, and future. Meaning that in a dream, you can see the future before it comes in this reality. So when you dream about something, you can have that act at a deja vu in this reality. Deja vu means already seen. Where did you see it at? You've seen it in a dream. So if you really think and focus when you have the deja vu, you'll remember, like, oh man, I had a dream about this. You know, for those who have experienced this, like when you had deja vu and it triggered you remembering a dream, press 9 in the chat box if this has happened to you. So people don't think I'm bugging. And it's only happened to me, and you have to be on a certain level for this to happen. This is common. When you have a deja vu, it's something you already seen in a dream. There you go. All right, so we do have the person back, Miss Cher. So I'm gonna bring you on. I wonder if this is a famous Cher from the actress. Cher, you are in the building. Welcome, welcome. Okay, Cher, you gonna need to turn your computer down or whatever, and speak directly to me if you can. Okay, she having technical difficulties. I'm not gonna. Yo, when you come on, you got to be ready, yo. You got to be ready. Have your what you call have your computer turned off and speak to me directly, or put your earphones in. All right, yeah. So everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people are showing you that they already seen in a dream. That's the thing. I don't believe that's popular that people tell y'all that deja vu comes from your dream state, but it's just directly tied to your dream state, yo. Where else have you seen it? It hasn't happened in this reality. So where else have you seen it? You have seen it in a dream. I just didn't know it was first in a dream. Yep, sure was. There you go. Very welcome. Okay, what else, babe? What other questions we got? Okay, should we use some form of protection before trying to access our Akashic records? I'm trying to figure out what it is I need to do to complete my soul contract in this life. Um, I would say if you feel like you need protection, then I would say yes. Me personally, I don't, how can I say this sensitively? When I do spiritual work, I don't have that fear that most humans have. Like, oh, I'm scared. And I'm not saying this is what you're saying. I'm just speaking in my own way. I don't go into things like, oh, I'm scared, or go into, like, say, quote unquote, a haunted house. Like, oh, I'm scared, I'm gonna see a ghost or stuff like this. That fear. Humans have a lot of fear. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to the movie that we're breaking down today, and movie Metaphysics. It talked about fear as well. The movie Apocalypto is a movie that we're the movie of the month in the accelerator. So I would say that I didn't have that trepidation that most people. Oh, I need to feel protected, or I feel like someone's attacking me. I don't feel like that. I know that you're going to receive whatever you're vibrating on. I'm gonna give y'all a plus degree. Nobody can cast a spell unless they're a high level magician, and there's not too many high level magicians using it nefariously like this. But unless they're a high level magician, a high level sorcerer, nobody can send something to you that you don't vibrate on. You have to actually vibrate to in order to receive it. And that's vibrating at a low level where you're vulnerable, where you're gullible. These are people that you feel like that can be talked into things. They can be tricked, like a door-to-door salesman can come and manipulate you and stuff like that. Those are usually people that are more gullible and vulnerable. If you're very, like, strong-minded, opinionated, don't feel like you need to go with the crowd, it's very difficult to make those people aren't susceptible to things that a lot of other humans are. So if you feel like you need protection before doing XYZ, then you probably do. But like I said, me personally, I don't get down like, I don't feel like I need to put Florida water on before I go to places and stuff like that. I'm not saying that stuff doesn't work and that's not what you need to do. Please don't mix my words and don't let this go over your head. I'm saying I don't live my life like that. Like I've told y'all, we've had a demon presence in the crib. I've seen things and experienced things that most humans would lose their goddamn mind over. At least turn pale if you're melanated, turn you white. You feel me? I've experienced all those things. It makes you stronger. When you walk through the shadow of death without any fear, it makes you stronger. A lot of you, when you transition, you're going to be scared and spook boost because you're scary. You're living your life in a very fearful mode. You're fearful of getting fired. You're fearful of this. You're fearful of losing your husband. You're fearful, fear. That is a root chakra, and it causes disease and discomfort, and it messes you up. You know what I'm saying? So the less fear you have, the more strong and the more bold you can walk through this thing. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Hey, yo, put what Pam Simmons said. I like that question. That would be a crunchy conversation right there. Hi, Indra. Are you Reiki certified? Crunchy season begins, yo. Why do you need to be certified to do any damn thing on this planet? Why? And please don't feel like I'm attacking you. I'm attacking those who feel like they make people feel like they need to do these things. Usually, when people say you need to be certified or you need record accreditation or you need this, usually they just trying to get some money from you. It's a money making scheme. I've been in this thing for a long time. No one's ever said what school you went to, who was your teacher that you learned this from. Nobody has ever said none of these things. But if you listen to people, not saying you, But if you listen to people and they're telling you, hey, you need to be certified in order to do this, so you can I'm a Reiki master. That's my favorite one, yo. I'm a Reiki master on my 3rd level and stuff like that. And that's how you get down. Please don't. I mean, I'm just sharing my opinion. Do you? But I'm saying you don't need to do that. There's a nigga in the hood right now that got more ball game than Jordan ever had. There's somebody in the hood right now that can throw a ball farther than Tom Brady and whoever's your favorite quarterback. But they didn't go to school. They didn't get their accreditation. They didn't go that route. There's a scientist in a hood or in the streets right now that is probably a prolific scientist if he had the right guidance and the right path and the right mentorship. But he's not certified. And there's doctors who are certified, went to medical school, and that can't heal a goddamn thing. You feel me? Big Mama with her concussions can heal you better than somebody with a doctor in front of their name. There's somebody that can do energy healing that's never had, don't even know how to spell Reiki. They'll spell Reiki Raykey. You feel me? Don't even know how to spell Reiki, but they can do better energy healing than somebody got a master. I'm a certified master Reiki healer, 3rd level, sir. It sounds good. And once again, respectfully, shout out to y'all. I'm not trying to poo-poo on you. Do what you do. What I'm saying is the mentality. You don't need to have these things in order to do those things. I don't need to go to any kind of accreditation. And trust me, I was there, yo. When I first started, I was looking online to be certified in metaphysics and all this stuff. I will poop on anybody, not anybody, but I will poop on most people who are certified based on my life experience and my studies. Because they're going to give you 3 books and give you a certificate saying, now go out and teach the babies. It sounds good. And it's a way to keep people making money. But you don't have to do those things, yo. You don't have to do those things. So am I certified? I'm certified in every goddamn thing I do. You feel me? I'm certified from spirit. I don't need man to certify me in a damn thing. You feel me? Hashtag that. All right? So stop letting these people play, y'all, man. So I know I have a person coming on, but guess what? We at the end of the show. Y'all need to come through way faster, man. Like we send a joint, the links out and stuff like that. And then once we get into this thing, then people want to come through. So my apologies. You can come back next week, but it is about to be 12 o'clock. I've been on here for an hour. Remember that I am here every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Make sure to come through. Make sure to come through as soon as possible. So y'all know when I get on, I get started. You feel me? So make sure to come through at 11. We're only on for an hour. Each episode can be found on YouTube, Indra Ali 9 at Indra Ali 9, or put in Indra Ali. Eventually, this will be posted on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, and all that good stuff. You know, if you want to, you can go subscribe to my channel. If you want to be reminded, I'm not big on subscribe and likes and all that stuff or whatever. But if you want to make sure you don't miss an episode, subscribe to the channel. So when I get on here, you'll be notified or whatever. So shout out to my Wiz, Sons of Ray for moderating. Shout out to my other moderators. Shout out to everybody for coming through live in the building. Shout out Ma Deuce. I see you again. And until next time, y'all, peace.